you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all and that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hearer of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
We have Brother Fed Kill Abdulaziz, the co-host, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen Saleem, and Holy Queen Mother Rabbi Saleem. May I ease his peace and other blessings be with everybody's presence. We want to thank those who are tuning this program, first of all, for your support, for joining us in this endeavor that we call an A.H.A.D moment. We hope that you're enlightened, enriched, and educated through the mission, through the message that comes through this man, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, and panel discussion as Hope Abroad. But with those sitting here and those in tune, may you continue to be blessed by the Lord Most High, because it's about the time of educating your mind, being brought up in the true way of righteousness that the Lord has sent down for this day. This agreement that is sent down for all is for not just here, but those in the world of humanity. With that being said, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, Holy Mother, Brother Fakir, one of the aims of this brother here, Holy-Apostle Deen, is the mission of education. One of our strong focal points of our mission of A.H.A.D Incorporated, Third House, the thing that we're dealing with is the mindset. And as we see now what's going on in the city of Newark and the surrounding area, the heavy increase of violence, killing, and everybody wants solution, but the Lord Most High have given this brother here solution that dealing with, first of all, cleaning up yourself with that education. And
question, teacher. Lord Holy Apostle, Holy Queen Mother. What is sound bites? Sound bites. We're talking about the mindset of people, and it just occurred to me about how the youth and how even the elders are educated these days, but everything comes quick, fast, in a hurry. There's oftentimes not enough time for them to have substance or some depth in the things that they're taught or the things that they come across, you know. Certainly the matters that we speak of, the matters that you present to us, Messenger, are very deep topics, very deep subjects, and here's a concern. How are the people in a world that's used to getting everything quick, fast, and in a hurry are going to be able to absorb something that's deep or be willing to do so?
Well, I think, felt like my mic is up kind of high. I think when you talk about absorbing things in a quick, fast, heavy manner, I don't think that's absolutely the case. I think what we're looking at now in this day and time is when people have a need for something, they'll slow down to get it if that's what they have a need for. I think with all this, the violence going on, all this murdering and what have you, I'm just talking about in this area alone, people is going to start realizing that they need something sound. They need something to work with in order to turn this thing around. See, these killings and everything, a lot of people don't understand. And sometimes I know we speak too high for people to really catch on to what we're trying to give them. But we only give them that which the Lord has given us and has made clear to us. Everything that happens is by Allah's will, is by Allah's will. Whether it be good, perceived as good or bad, it is by Allah's will. You know, we look at death as the end, and we let death tear us down and get us, you know, in a different mindset. And we let love, lust, good times put us up in a high mindset. We got things real backwards going on. You know, the thing is, death is just a part of life. You know, and people say, they died too young. Well, yes, the act was a terrible act. It was a tragedy. But surely the Lord has given us all life for a purpose. And we don't know what that purpose is. Some of us is going to die tragically. Some of us is going to live to be old age. Some of us is going to live to lose our mind. Some of us is going to live to gain riches. Some of us is going to live in poverty. But see, it's all about accepting what Ahezaah give you and living in that on the right. You understand? Taking everything and dissecting it and know that it's good in everything that takes place. And that's hard. That is hard for you to accept when your heart is heavy. But that's easy for you to accept if your heart is full of joy. You understand? But the thing is, all that comes from the Lord Most High is by its will and is of good. But it's hard for us to sit back and look at it. You know, I look back sometime at my life and I want to complain about things. And then when I get to that complaining area, I have to look and say, wait. I got this from this bad experience, what we would perceive to be a bad experience. I got so many blessings from it. So was it a bad experience? No. It made me remember my Lord. It made me seek to surrender. It made me do right by other people. It made me try to do right by myself. So it's a matter of how we accept things. That's what people have to understand. We have to accept. Like, people hate being poor. But if you don't know poverty, how good are you going to be as a rich person? You understand what I'm saying? If you don't accept your crown in poverty, if you had money, would you be a righteous person with money? Would you do right by the money, or would you be hoarded, greedy, and stingy? You understand what I'm saying? So the Lord gives you conditions for the good. We just have to learn how to sit back, be patient with the Lord, because the Lord ain't going to give us the answers we're looking for, but it's going to give us the truth. Okay? So if we be patient with our Lord and pray to our Lord and be steadfast in all situations, then we'll come to know that everything that it does has been for the benefit of mankind.
I guess I can say something.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. That was very good. I'm happy that she went on that subject, because I wanted to get back to the main ingredient of what this thing is all about. And as you spoke, I listened to you and you was glowing, and I know that your fans are pretty happy that I didn't butt in and say anything while you were talking, because they say let the lady speak more and that I talk too much and what have you. But I'm in the process of attempting to produce another show myself, and so that I can get some more teaching information out to our audience.
Right.
And but what we need to understand is that, like what she was saying, you shouldn't really look at it as good or bad, because we're not the judge.
Right.
Difficult or easy, yes.
Okay.
Difficult trials or easy trials, but good or bad, no, because there's so much of good that can come from bad, and so much of bad that can come from good.
Yeah.
Now let's take the simple word of good. The Lord says that we should seek the good of both worlds.
Right. Sure does.
Right? Mm-hmm. And the good is the best thing that you can have. The good is the Lord Most High.
Yes.
That is the thing of both worlds. But look how people have taken the Lord's good word, its wise word, and twisted it to make us think as human beings that the Lord was talking about the goods, the material things.
Yeah. Right.
Of this world next. And then you got whole religious factions out here talking about, well, if you ain't doing good, you ain't of Jesus.
Yeah.
If you ain't rich, you ain't of Jesus. And Jesus walked around with one slipper. Mm-hmm. Tell me he wasn't in poverty. What rich man walking around with one shoe on? As the story goes, and he seen a man, he was complaining himself. And he seen a man with no slippers, and he felt ashamed and threw his other slipper away. So, man, I need to have less. Sure. Because Jesus, like Muhammad, though they didn't say it, with his action in doing that, he was saying poverty is his crown. Right. Just as Muhammad said, poverty is his crown. Right. And I have to say, I have been crowned heavy You know, like they say, I'm gonna crown you, because I've been crowned with poverty, boy. And I've been crowned with a lot of people in poverty. But in poverty, there's so much riches.
Yes.
You know, this is she was saying, you know, it's poverty and hardship that make you remember Ahezaah.
Yeah.
Make you remember, make you pray to it, you know? Now, we talking about all the deaths and what have you. I had a brother who was a messenger to me, whom the angel Gabriel came to when I was 7 years old. And when it came to me and told him basically to take me under his wing and teach me, and that the angels would guide him to teach me. I couldn't understand how my brother, being just 8 years older than me, had so much information about Islam, you know? And so he was being fed, and for the first 7 years, all he showed me was good, you know? And he pointed me to a couple of brothers. One name was Wesley, and he was in the Nation of Islam. We call him Wesley 3X. You know, Wesley Baxter. Love the brother. Wish I could see the brother. He did so much for me because my brother pointed him out, said, watch him and study him. And I never seen this man do any wrong. And he became a personal associate of mine, which I got a lot of training from him. You understand? And then Allah gave my brother 7 years of what they call bad in the streets. And I watched him in the streets and followed him. One thing that he always did was to try to remind me of Allah. You know, but he taught me so much. Then after he realized that, I came to realize that Allah was more than Master Farad Muhammad, because I finally did go and join the Nation of Islam. It was like 3 years after that he passed on. But when he questioned me, because he hadn't seen me for a while, and he questioned me, he seen I was in the Nation of Islam selling newspapers, shining, you know, selling bean pies and fish and the whole 9 yards, what the program was all about, you know. And I was actually expressing Islam, but I was taking it to a higher level because I had been groomed at a higher level. You know, and some of the brothers didn't trust me in the Nation of Islam because I had so much information, just like there's brothers now in Orthodox Islam who don't trust me because I got so much information, so much awareness, and I'm always ahead of them.
Yeah.
Always been ahead of them. So they'll catch up sooner or later, maybe after I pass. Who knows? But the thing about it was, when he died, I thought back to when he was questioning me about me not knowing who Allah is. And I told him, when he questioned me, yes, I know what Allah is, who Allah is. He said, well, who was Allah? He thought I was going to say Master Farad Muhammad.
Okay.
You know, I said, no, Allah came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, came in his being, came in that person, and spoke to Elijah through him. That Allah is in all places at all times, and it can manifest in all things, whatever it want to manifest in. Just like it manifested in the burning bush to Moses, you know? It manifests in voices and sounds of the wind. It manifests in whatever it desires to manifest. Nothing is not incapable of accomplishing anything. It can do what it wills. This is its creation. This is where everything is it, right? So the look on his face, and when he said, you know, I realized something happened. He realized his job had been done. Okay. So then I proceeded to wait for him to die. I mean, for 2.5 years, I actually waited for him to die. It was like a voice came to me, and like I said, okay, my brother gonna die. He gonna get killed. And finally, the night he got killed, I was at work in Jersey City, but he came to me, man, and I knew exactly where he got killed and everything, and told my family when they came over to my house, because of course they thought I was gonna go off because I had been in the streets. I was hardcore in the streets at one time, going wild because people were saying I was crazy, back when I was a youngster, and I fell for that then.
Right.
Oh, you crazy. You'd say you seen an angel and you spoke to angels, and you crazy. You who, you what, you crazy, man. And they ostracized me as a kid. So I tried to go undercover and keep Allah quiet, and that don't work. You can't compromise Allah. You can't go out there and act like you with the devil or you with somebody who don't believe and you their buddy, their friend, because Allah gonna chastise you for it. And I just want to say to my audience, any of my people who claim to be A.H.A.D believers, And you see them out there in the world doing wrong, party, dancing, shaking their hips, getting high, doing all kind of illicit things, and what have you, because we had that in the Nation of Islam that used to shock me. I say to you, don't associate that with me, just like I didn't associate them brothers and sisters with Elijah Muhammad. Don't associate that with me or Holy Queen Mother or anybody that you know of this community that is on the right. Because people have faults. People gonna do what they gonna do because it takes time for people to understand. It's like it takes time for, you folks out there in the audience. It takes time. It's gonna take time for you to understand and surrender wholly unto this thing, Because my Lord said it's gonna come with pain, because when that pain hits you, like those trials, when that hits you and take you down, and you start calling for the Lord, you get tired of that pain, you surrender, And so when my brother passed on, it was like I was ready for it, And I never looked at it like he had died too early. I realized he had did his job. And I was correct because in 1979, when I became enlightened, Allah explained it to me itself. It explained it to me that that his job was to be the messenger to me and to be the provider of information and experience so that I wouldn't have to suffer and go through certain experiences. I could learn by looking at him and other people he pointed me to, and that he had did his job and he had made it to paradise and what have you, So that was, it's like, who is in charge of time? Allah is in charge of time. Now, I'm gonna say this and give you the stage. This thing with all these killings and what have you, and what we was talking about, people moving too fast, on the fast food type of line thing, it's like even if we gave it to them super fast, they wouldn't be able to handle it, because the thing about it is that they have to be ready. You have to be submissive to receive this. You can't receive this in arrogance.
No.
Why do you think so many brothers is come to me in arrogance, walk away and say I'm arrogant, and they can't relate to what I'm saying until years go by and then things hit them. They be like, whoa, he said this, he said that. And I know a lot of you out in the audience, you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is that it takes time, and this thing on these young brothers, it's a curse on our people.
Yeah.
Allah said it clearly. It's a curse, and you can't stop it. You can't stop a curse of the Lord. Yeah. You weeping and mourning and going through all your changes, and this funeral after funeral after funeral after funeral. Allah, Ahezaah, Amen is giving you a message and giving you a sign. It's going to keep doing it until you surrender to this new covenant. And like I say, I had people I know looking at the show laugh. He think he a messenger, think he a prophet.
You are.
I mean, they did the same thing with Muhammad and Jesus and Noah. Can you imagine? They definitely not, mock Noah.
Oh, no. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And look at what happened with Moses and his people. Moses was like a pharaoh, man, and they mocked him. Yeah. And his own people, they only want to escape the slavery, and they still want to go and be like the ones who enslaved them. It's crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So we got that going out. Those people that be mocking me, a lot of them that be mocking me, they need to be mocked. They need to get in the mirror and mock themselves for being fools. Wanting to be slaves of other people, where I'm talking about you being liberated and a free man, a woman, a king and a queen of your own being, and you saying I'm crazy? Because I say there's a way for you to be free, that the Lord is real, although it's unseen, that there's a way to reach it in this life, that when Jesus was talking about you have to die and be reborn again, he was talking about dying and being reborn in this life, on the real side, in the spiritual and mental manifestation.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But they say I'm crazy,
But you know what, you just said something that I like to get down on. We was talking about Moses' people.
Yeah.
They were slaves, right? And Moses did all that Allah commanded him to do to free them. And they still was a bunch of wretched, ungrateful people. And you look and say, okay, how that happened? Then we look at today. In this day and time, we spent 500 years in slavery, and no offense, longer than the Holocaust. And one thing that I know that transpired in us in the time of the African American people being enslaved was they was raped by their slave masters.
Right.
Okay, now that's where the big problem come in at. And that's the same thing with Moses people. If you notice people that throw their children away, that really don't have no cares and what have you for their children, two things happen. That child grow up and hate their parent, but they could kill that parent. Or they always have this burning desire to be a part of that parent life and live a whole life wanting that parent to love them.
And appreciate them. Right.
And appreciate them. Well, that is what happened to the African American too. And we fall into the trap that they put out there for us because they got a voice, they got a microphone, they got television, they got radio. Anybody born, whether they have a Caucasian mother or father and an African American mother or father, if it's an interracial marriage, that child is automatically in the black race.
Yeah.
Called black, right?
Called black.
Right.
There is millions of so-called African American people with light brown skin, dark brown skin. It don't matter their skin complexion, but there's millions of people in the African American race that are not African American, and we don't want to wake up and smell the coffee on this stuff. We don't want to look at the fact that it's not your skin color that determines your race.
Right.
It's that DNA.
It's the DNA.
It's the genes.
Yep, the genes.
Now, you got a man like Cory Booker.
And the spirit.
In the spirit. You got a man like Cory Booker who has never had to deal with us, African American people.
All his life.
Okay, never.
Old Tapan.
He not only is he more, his features more like a Caucasian race.
His mind.
But his mind, his spirit. He has no spirit connecting him to African American people.
Yeah.
But because they say he African American, we open up our heart, our doors and everything to the slave master. You know, there's a lot of African American people, so-called African American people, that hate African American people. My grandmother was one.
Oh, yeah.
She hated African American. My grandmother spent the time that I was growing up until she died, always telling me that African American men was never, excuse the expression, you know what I'm going to say. That is what she tried to beat in our heads. And my grandmother never had nothing kind. 99.9%, and I know that people say, "Oh, how she could talk." The truth is the truth. I got a lot of good from my grandmother. Loved my grandmother dearly, and she loved me. But my grandmother was racist, and my grandmother was more of a Caucasian. She had more Caucasian genes. She looked like a Caucasian. The only thing that made them throw her in our category was her hair. But as she got older, she was able to go to bar mitzvah with the people that she used to work with for their grandkids and everything. And people never knew that she was African American. Unless they talked to her. And then they said, "Oh, you used to work for them." Okay? So this is what I'm talking about. And she did not like African American, but she was put in a situation where she had to marry an African American man.
Yeah.
And had a child and what have you. But she was not relative to African American people. You know? So that goes into my lineage. You understand what I'm saying? But I come from a tree of the Indians, the Seminole Indians, and I come from the tree of Haitians, and I come from a tree of Africans. You understand? But I recognize that in me. But I'm telling you, a lot of people, and I'm not just saying this by light-skinned people.
No.
Right. Oh no.
Cause you
That's
got people that say
people
that
got the same-
right,
Look at Clarence Thomas.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we say
No,
Uncle
very
Tom,
much.
but they ain't
Perfect
Uncle
example.
Tom. They
Yes.
are the Tom.
Clarence Thomas, Supreme
Yes.
Court Justice.
They are the
Yes.
they are the
know?
Tom. You know what I'm saying? They are that. But they, because the Caucasian won't let them cross over and be in that, and they race because of that skin tone. We have to put up with them in our race, and they're the ones that are doing the most damage
Yeah, to our people.
to our
But
people.
you know, you got some that have the opposite effect too.
Mhm.
You got some that have that they know they got that Caucasian spirit and they got them Caucasian genes inside, no matter what their color is, complexion is, and they hate the Caucasians because the Caucasians won't accept them.
Okay.
See, that's the other side.
side, I'm
Instead of
saying.
hating the blacks, they hate the Caucasians because the Caucasians won't accept them. And you could see in them because they will talk against them, they'll fight against them, they'll rally against them, they'll set up groups against them, right? But at the same time, if you watch them closely, they want to be with them.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems we have with our civil rights leaders.
Yeah.
See, one of the things about Africans that came over here in slavery, we became passive people. We were made to be passive.
Right.
So it's a lot of us still had that passivity in us. You understand? So naturally, you got those who got the Caucasian and the Indian in them, and they fighters, man. They step out.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a lot of the aggressive people from amongst our people are of them, and they step out and they become the leaders, and we get behind them, rallying. And once they get paid off, when they get too deep, then the Caucasians say, okay, pay them off, give them a job, bring them in. And then they stop talking about black and they start talking about the Rainbow Coalition and all other kind of stuff. And, you know, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
What about that movement? What about the liberation for your people? What's wrong? Why do they make it so wrong that we want African Americans or Native American, Indian Africans heroes?
Yeah.
You know, because even the Native Americans, the Indians, indigenous people,
Right.
even they fell for the trick, and they want to curse people like myself who are dark skinned with Native American in them, you know, and say we're not of them. You understand? Because they became mixed with Caucasian.
Right.
And the Caucasians gave them the little platform where, okay, you got those who are mixed with Caucasians, they are the greater Native Americans. And then you have the clear Native Americans, they are second class. And then you have those mixed with blacks who are third class. How that happen? How the Indians accept that? How they allow that? To say that because they are mixed with Caucasian, they are better than the purebred.
Yeah.
When the Caucasians run around saying purebred, you know, like the Ku Klux Klan Club or the Ku Klux Klan, say
Right.
the you know, the Caucasians, the purebred is the yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? But
Yeah.
how did the Indians let that happen? You know, brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being brainwashed, you know, and because, you know, I could not think that because I'm mixed, I'm better. You know, because once you are mixed, that means you're weaker. You're less than what you were, what you originated as, you know, but that don't make you a worse person. That makes you a different person.
Right.
Okay.
Well, part of what the message that the Lord give us here is a part of that mixture that Ahezaah speaks about as being a new people for this day, the chosen people today, that we mix with every race of people around the world. And we can go from the lightest hue to the darkest hue. And then all in between, we had the variant eye shapes, colors, tones, everything. And that makes us a unique people. But our people are the first one who fought us against that when Ahezaah brought this message to them, that they're the chosen people for the day.
Well, you know, hold that thought.
Okay.
Don't lose it, please. I know sometimes I tell you that and you lose it because you listen too deep to me, but this is for the audience, so hold your thought.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?